Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing another movie review for you all, so hopefully you find this one interesting. This movie is a horror film from the United States, English language, released in the year 2023, directed by David Slade, and this film is called Dark Harvest. So Dark Harvest is set in the 60s. We have a town that is besieged by a curse that affects the town every Halloween. So each year there is a monster called Sawtooth Jack who comes to this town, and if he gets to the cathedral, the whole town is going to burn. So it's up to the teenage boys inside this high school to stop him. And if one of these teenage boys can kill Sawtooth Jack, they will win $25,000 and a ticket out of this town. Now these townspeople, they can't leave any other time, and so I'm not going to tell you why, but they're desperate to actually get out. And so the main character's older brother, he actually won the previous year and he left town. Now this boy hasn't actually heard from him, but he believes he's leading a better life, and so he wants to win the tournament. And so unfortunately for him, if a previous family member has been successful, you can't actually enter the next year. But he wants to get out of this town so desperately that he's willing to do anything. But unfortunately, as the night approaches, he realises that there are some secrets behind this annual event and these townspeople that are really going to complicate matters, but this boy is not going to stop at anything. So whether or not he can get what he wants is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Dark Harvest. I was really excited to see this film. When I saw the trailer, I thought this looks really, really interesting. But the thing that really won me over was that David Slade is the director. David Slade created a vampire film that I think is one of the best vampire films out there, called 30 Days a Night. I really liked that. That was very suspenseful, extremely nasty. And so to see that he was making another film, I definitely needed to see it. Now I know that this is an adaptation of a novel. Now I haven't actually read the novel, so I can't make comparisons. So if you've read the novel and you can fill in some missing details that the film has, then please feel free to share your opinions. But for me, I was judging this on a film alone. So the things that I didn't understand in this movie, maybe the clarity would have been a lot better if I'd actually read the book, but I haven't read the book. And that can be a very good thing, because I don't like reading a book and then watching a movie and you're always making comparisons and you're not really enjoying the experience for what it is. And so I was coming into Dark Harvest with the excitement levels because of the fact I'm a fan of this director. And after watching Dark Harvest, I will say that although it's a decent movie, there are some really, really good moments that this film has. There is one glaring problem that unfortunately is way too big to overlook, and that's something I'll go into a little bit later. But what I loved about the film is what I loved about 30 Days a Night. There's a brooding intensity that seeps through the screen that engulfs the viewer and strangles you to the point where you feel very unnerved, you feel out of breath. It's a very frenetic speed. This movie doesn't really take long to really get into the gore, and so that's something that I like, and it maintains that level of interest, and it dangles that carrot around every corner. And so I thought that's a very difficult thing to do. That's definitely something that David Slade does very well. He thinks about these movies and how to maintain the interest of the viewer, and that's something that if you don't really nail, then you're not going to make a successful film. And so that's what 30 Days a Night did very well, and this is what this film does very well. Although it's nowhere near as good as 30 Days a Night, I was still interested because of the cinematography. I thought as though it was a very vibrant sort of atmosphere that it creates through the colouring. It was a very otherworldly sort of feel, and so it has that level of entertainment that makes this a movie that you could watch every Halloween. There were characters that were very exaggerated, and so there's just a very awkward feeling that this movie possesses, that you feel as though it's a bad dream, it's a nightmare that you're having, and you're living that nightmare for 90 minutes. And so that's your type of thing, and you like the atmosphere of 30 Days a Night, this is a movie that's definitely going to get you. I thought some of the camera shots were very beautiful, but at the same time very haunting, and I thought the secret behind this town was actually pretty cool. I really like the premise. You know, this monster, if he gets to the cathedral, these boys have to stop them, and there are questions that need answering, and so I thought, alright, well, the overall platform for a very good film is there. So the acting was decent, the gore effects, as I said, absolutely phenomenal. I love some of the kills, and I really like the monster of Sawtooth Jack. The effects were outstanding, and so again, that's a trademark of David Slade. But unfortunately, where this movie really falls down is the plot holes. There is a lot of nonsensical moments that this movie has that you can't really overlook, and as the movie goes on from about the halfway point to the end, the nonsensical moments become more and more frequent, and this is where I started to lose sense of where I was, and unfortunately this is where I think the director loses control of the whole situation. And so you're left scratching your head thinking, why would you do this? Why would you do that? You know, this this is clearly a very convenient moment for the sake of the plot progressing. I thought as though it's a case of a director who's taken inspiration from a novel but is unable to handle the qualities and the contents of that novel in a way that translates and makes a lot of sense. And so there were moments where I felt as though he completely forgot what direction he was going into. There were side elements and side plots that I thought really got in the way of the fluency of the progression of the story. And so there were moments where I just thought as though that was silly. You know, why did this person do that? Why did this person do this? And ultimately it's just to keep the movie going. It just didn't really know how to actually make this film make sense while continuously having that fluency. And so that was something that I really didn't like. There were some really silly moments. You know, I'm not going to give anything away, but especially these kids, these high school kids, I thought to myself, well, the town is its own worst enemy, basically, and so why should I feel sorry for what's going on? It's basically they're contributing to their own downfall. And there was, right at the end of the film, I thought it got really melodramatic and very silly, and that there's no clarity, there's no real fluency in actually telling a coherent story. And so if that's your type of thing, you're going to not like the way that this movie goes about its business. I thought that was a real letdown. The story was very interesting, but the way it tells its story I thought was a miss. But, you know, David Slade has produced a movie that you can watch every year at Halloween. It's a Halloween film that is a lot better than other Halloween films out there. So if it sounds like you might want to check it out, then please feel free. It's not a movie that I'm saying is terrible, but unfortunately it's just a complete mess. It's insanity, but it's insanity in all the wrong areas. It just felt like a director who's splashing all of this content, but he just doesn't really know how to rein it in and control it. And so it just becomes a little bit of a train wreck at the end. And so if it's, I'm still going to say go out there and see it. There are some moments that are worth watching, but unfortunately as an overall piece just didn't really grab me like 30 Days of Night did. So overall for Dark Harvest, going to give this one 2.5 stars. It does get a pass mark, but only just. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies and I'll see you later. Bye.